I'd like to bring Sonia up real quick. She has a project that she runs called Feed Iowa First, and it's right in line with kind of what Guy touched on about being able to provide your food. We live in Iowa, we're an agriculture state, and yet we still import 90% of the food that we eat, and that's absolutely absurd. So Sonia is going to tell us a little bit about what she's doing to help mitigate that problem, and then we'll have question and answers as we pick up over the course of, we've got to be out of here by 3:30, so we have more than an hour of time left in this space. I invite you all to come and talk with Guy. If you want to carry that conversation on, we have plenty of time here to do so. But without further ado, here's Sonia to give us her spiel and let us know a little bit about what she's doing to feed us all. So.
Thank you. I'll try to be brief. I can't feed all of you here. It's called Feed Iowa First because we have to work together. So climate change is a reality that we're all facing, and we all get to choose how we face that reality. And I choose to face that reality with hope, and because I believe that hope is something that we have to create. And I know that humans have gone through mass extinction before, and we've gone through abrupt climate change, and we're still here. We're like a virus. We're going to find a way to overcome. I'm going to believe that. But I'm a combat veteran. I spent 10 years in the military. I'm an agronomist, which is an agricultural scientist. My master's is in sustainable food systems and in plant breeding. And what I learned in the military is that a couple things. Whoever controls your food controls you, and that I learned that if humans are encountering a situation that they do not know how to deal with, that's very scary, their first reaction is to shut down and ignore the situation. So we have the data, but we have all kinds of people out there who are ignoring the data and pretending like it's not happening. And I want you all to know that you are not going to convince them otherwise, okay? You're not going to convince them otherwise because you can only see what you want to see. You can only hear what you want to hear. So we got to talk about these things differently. And we just got to look at people who can't accept the information as people who are unable to cope and with love, and try to understand. I want to be with them. I sure like to believe that all this business that's being talked about is not real, but I do believe in God, so I think God can take care of anything, even if it looks like it's going to burn us up. Because in the end, we're all just compost, and the whole earth is going to like implode, and it's going to come back together again, and it's going to be okay. But like you said, we got to do what we can today. So I can change where I'm at. I can't change the world, but I can change where I'm at. Just like Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So in my community, we import almost 90% of the food. That means there's 1,500 miles of fossil fuel on every plate that we eat. So all of us play a role in CO2, in climate change. And all we're responsible for as human beings is our role. I don't have to worry about your role. I don't have to worry about anybody's role, just mine. So people don't care about climate change. A lot of the decision makers these days don't care about climate change, but they do care about money. And so if you want to make differences, you got to talk the way they talk. You got to talk about money. So for me, to reduce climate change in the way that I do it as a farmer, I know that by having a local food economy, I reduce the energetic needs of my community. But I also bring in $1 billion into my community. So you have to show the economics of change, and the money is where they'll go to. They're sick with greed. It's a sickness, and if you show them the money, then they'll go. So I run this organization. It's got the green bus. There's 26,000 people in Linn County that go to bed hungry. Do you guys know what a hungry person looks like? Anybody? Yeah, they look like heart disease. They look like diabetes, cancers, with depression, anxiety. I rarely see hunger in the distended stomach phase, but it is here as well in our low-income neighborhoods. But so I calculated we need 500 acres to feed them 2.5 cups of vegetables, and I did a GIS, Geographical Information Survey of Cedar Rapids, Marion, and Hiawatha, and I found there's over 800 acres just surrounding the churches. Land is not an issue. Rockwell Collins has 250 acres that they mow. So what we do is we have 30 farms, and we try to get everybody, we do 1 crop per site, and then we train that site how to do it, and then the crop comes in, and then we wash it, and we distribute it to Meals on Wheels, and we put it on the bus, and we go into low-income neighborhoods, because I believe that the poor embody the spirit of my Creator. That's just my personal belief. And that what we do to the least of these is how we are measured. And so to me, giving people who have the least the best is the best that I can do, because I am a food democracy activist. I believe that everybody deserves good food no matter what your socioeconomic class is. I believe that the federal government should pay me as a farmer and that as a civil servant, because I can't barely make a living as a farmer, because the food's too cheap for me to make a living doing it the right way, and it's also too expensive for most people to afford my food. You know, we don't know the future. We really don't. And that's the most scary thing of all. But I think that every day we can make a decision to do the best that we can and love each other.
Are there any questions?
How can people in the community participate, even if it's just occasionally, whatever projects that you're involved in?
So we try to, if people want to participate occasionally, I challenge you to look at where you work, at where you go to church. Do they have a lawn? Can we change it? Do you have people there that might be able to give an hour a week? You know? Well, I don't know. You could. I don't have a volunteer coordinator. Nobody's paid. I don't get paid to do this stuff. But you know, eventually there will. But you could text me, or you could message us, and then we'll send you somewhere. There's always stuff to pay. Okay. Go ahead.
Are you a 501c3 and do you accept money?
I am a 501c3 and I do accept that form of currency. I'll also take tractors.
Yes.
I do want to speak, you did talk about the last great, what do they call it? Climate change, abrupt climate change. And I did a lot of research in the historical agriculture and agriculture and climate. And before the Heliocene happened, humans were hunters and gatherers as far as we could tell. And all the great forests died out because it got cold and it got dry. And everything that we had relied upon died out, so we became farmers. And farming was a form of climate change adaptation. And all the crops that we do grow are all from that time. And I'm just going to pray that we can do it again. And maybe we'll learn our lesson this time and not make plastic everywhere. Maybe.